Top of the morning to ya, Drag Race viewers. Today we're gonna be discussing a lot of things, including Ariana Grande. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I'm not even dancing anymore.
You guys, this is the best song on the internet. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's viral.
I play it in the shower. I am your host, 123 Jackie B. Welcome to our recap of Drag Race Season 11, Episode 3, Diva Worship. With me, as always, Mark J. Freeman.
Sorry, I was adjusting my volume because all of a sudden my volume was gone. Hi, Mark J. Freeman in the house, and yes, I am Irish.
Oh, me
Freeman,
too.
Freeman's Irish. But my
Jayla?
Freeman is.
I'm not Irish, but I'm here. Hi,
You
guys.
can be honorary Irish.
Honorary
Look,
Irish.
well, I had to bring something for you guys. Since we're doing Drag Race, I had to bring a reveal.
Oh my god.
Do you like it? Did I do it right?
I love it.
For audio listeners, Jayla had Lucky written on her shirt, and when she
Yes.
rubbed her boobs, it turned into Charm.
That's all you need to know.
How am I supposed
Different things happen when you rub my boobs. I'm just going to tell you that now.
How am I supposed to follow that? That's not fair.
You just
How
gotta rub
dare
your
you.
boobs and turn into something.
I'm rubbing my boobs, podcast listeners.
That's the new reveal I want on Drag Race. I want a boob rub reveal.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
Ollie.
I'm Ollie, and I'm very flat chested. I apologize, y'all.
But before we get started, Ollie and Jayla both have birthdays this week.
Yay!
Come
It's
show
a
the
birthday
birthday. Let me
party.
bring
We
some
have
cake.
champagne and a cake.
Yes.
for
We
yours.
spared no expense
We're not
on this
Thank
cake
you.
Yes.
that I'm sure
Trader
isn't
Joe's
vegan.
I love
finest.
it. It's actually cardboard, you guys. You just cut through.
We didn't light the candles.
We had a cake challenge.
because no open flames in the studio.
Yeah, I have too much makeup on and too much hair products, so I'll go up in flames.
We got a couple newbies in the chat. Alicia and Brett are both new live watchers.
Hey.
Oh, thank you, Alicia and Brett. And thank you, as always, to those who join us in the chat. We've noticed, I'm going to do it in my Fan of the Week shout out, but we've noticed that there are fans from all over. So tell us where you're from.
Yes.
Even if it's from a city in the U.S., even if it's from right here in Los Angeles.
Even if you're in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The coolest town
Yeah.
ever.
Ever.
So wish happy birthday to Jayla and Ollie.
Yes.
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Yes,
Our
Jared.
PayPal
Blow up
is-
their Twitter. Blow up their Twitter and
Venmo them
Instagram.
$5
Yes,
each.
each, all of you.
Support our Patreon.
England in the house.
Someone from England. That's
England, Theo.
wonderful.
Hi, Theo.
Tokyo, New
I want to
York.
ask you guys, if you had to pick a diva, if you had to pick a diva for the Diva Challenge, who would
Oh.
you pick?
Okay.
Me first?
Yeah,
go
you
Me
go
first?
first.
Madonna.
Madonna?
Yeah.
Madonna, okay.
I mean, I'm a different generation than all y'all.
All right. Right. We are turning 5.
I did notice that nobody picked newer pop
Yeah.
divas. Like
I'm
even
glad.
Brittany's my age. She's older
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah, she's older. I would pick Grace Jones.
Oh,
I
my
like
diva.
that.
I
I
wish.
like
that's
that.
a good one.
But I don't think that can be transferred over into being funny.
Yeah.
I mean, she has funny moments,
Yeah.
but I get why.
You could do a lot of vocalizing with
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna talk about that because that's one of my notes about
Okay.
this whole
Okay.
thing. So, but yeah, Allie.
Now, are you talking about like a diva, known for being a diva, or just like a musical?
Whoever you
Who do you
would
worship?
consider
Who would
you
a diva.
worship?
That would be very easy. I would do Gaga probably because
Yeah. You
took mine.
oh really? I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'll do
share was my
one.
backup.
No,
Pick a different one.
I
Okay.
have a
That was my
backup.
backup.
My backup's Ariana Grande, so
Oh,
I just
okay.
feel like there's lots of material
Yeah.
to do with both of those. But I love Gaga. I feel like there's so much you could. Did you want to say something?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm here for you.
Even
you.
with
I'm here for you.
Beyonce, I felt like if someone picked Beyonce too, there would have been
Well,
a
the
lot
thing
of
is, they
material.
can't pick
Oh.
Beyonce because of the copyright issues. She don't want them to be unplugging VH1 when they play her stuff. So, yeah, they have to be like, which rights do we have to say like, okay, we can only do Whitney or Britney? Which one you doing?
Yeah.
So,
Well, mini challenge. The mini challenge
Yes.
was, I like that they seem to be tying the mini challenges into the maxi challenge.
Yeah.
So
I've noticed that.
there was like the mini challenge this week was like you're backstage and you're trying to get onto stage to see Seduction, who is
Seduction.
presumably an idol of yours. So I kind of felt that even if it was a loose tie-in, it was still a tie-in. It was like a fan-centered episode.
That was like out of all the mini challenges ever, that was my favorite. I
It's my
laughed the
second
entire
favorite.
time.
I
That was
still
funny.
like the puppets. I still like the puppets.
It was funny. I have to say, someone wrote it in the chat room, and it was almost my quote of the week. When Kyria
Oh my
was
God.
like, she's like, "What's her middle name?" She goes, "I don't know. What's her? You tell me." She's like, "You're the one out there." She's like, "I'm in here." She goes, "No, you checking the dough."
No, that was so good, and that really, I want to see more of Akira for sure. That she won me over with that, and I want to say before you cut me off,
I'm not.
that like I just love this. I love the challenge so much, and I hope we see more of Akira. I'm worried.
Yeah, I think she had a lot of really funny little moments in the confessional too.
Yes.
And whether those reactions went with those situations, we'll never know. But the way they edited her in
I
and
wanted
stuff
to
was
see
so
more
fun.
too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, she's hilarious.
Yeah,
So
I
funny.
thought it was funny that Brooklyn made a comment at the beginning of the episode that she was kind of not memorable because I think this episode
Made her
she
memorable.
became
Yeah.
very memorable by her comments and stuff. She started to win me over.
Someone in the chat room like the Raja. This is my good fur, which I thought was funny too. And I like Nina's as well. I thought that was
Nina's
The fur was fun. This is my good fur.
yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
It was
Well-
creative. Props to them for being creative with the mini challenge.
and I'm glad
Yeah.
to see Rue having a sense of humor now. He's starting to be more funny. I like
Yes. He's starting to open up. Good job, RuPaul.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And well, are we getting into the workroom stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, let me just
Okay.
go through the teams. So Nina and Raja won the mini challenge, so they got to pick the teams for the maxi challenge. So Nina's team was Silky, Evie, Vanjie, Brooklyn, Ariel, Mercedes. Raja's team was Suga, Scarlett, Plastique, Honey, and Akira. And so yeah, let's talk a little bit about the workroom. There were quite a lot of workroom goings on in this episode.
Oh yeah.
I just, and we've been saying this all along, and with her looks and just the commentary she's been giving in the workroom and stuff, I don't know that a note was given to her, or if she's just coming out of her own shell now.
Okay.
But Rue herself is. I am living for her.
That's
now.
what I'm saying. I'm liking this new
Yeah,
personality.
I like that
Yeah.
she's pushing them. I like that she's calling them out on stuff. And whether it's just she's fed up, she's like,
Yeah.
girl, we're 11 seasons in.
Yeah.
I say the same thing every season. I'm not saying it again. Step up. Stink, stank, stunk. That was, the perfect.
I think she's listening to us. She's like, oh, I gotta listen to this AfterBuzz panel. I gotta listen to
That would be
Lorraine.
nice. That would
But
be
I
nice.
also think RuPaul back in the day hosted her own show, had a little bit was like. In this one, we see her, all dolled up and behind a judging panel. It's less interactive than she was in the 90s.
Right. Because I remember the show on VH1, the RuPaul show. They had skits. Her and Michelle would do like funny skits. So I'm like, okay, she has a sense of humor somewhere. But I'm happy to see she's stepping from behind. She has legs.
Yeah.
RuPaul's legs.
Yeah. I don't know that I ever said this before. I saw RuPaul live in LA when I lived here in 97. Wow, I'm old.
I was in high school.
Shut up.
They were
I don't
being
want to know.
born.
I don't want to know. They probably weren't even born yet.
Their cake says 5.
Thanks.
But I will never, my friend, someone knew that I did drag, so he gave me tickets to see her live at, and I'm trying to remember the name of what it was then. It was Billboard, what's Billboard now, or used to be Billboard on Sunset. The Roxy, whatever that space was, that's where
Okay.
she was. Anyway, I went, and I do remember leaving very disappointed because I felt like she was really crude, and like just the stuff that she was talking about was just, she was like putting people down and all this stuff. And for me, it shocked me a little bit because I wasn't expecting that, from what you saw in the videos and on TV and stuff. So
Yeah.
I was like, who is this person? So I don't know if we're now seeing the real RuPaul. Like, this is not filtered RuPaul, but it kind of reminds me of when I saw her back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat roll asked what we think of the Vanjie and Brooklyn pairing, which they kind of teased it in the first episode when Vanjie was saying that she thought Brooklyn was cute.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because I always wonder, like, this must be like a hotbed of hookups if you're not with somebody and you're like there and you're single and there's like a
whole bunch of dudes.
dudes.
Yeah.
like,
Good looking dudes.
Yeah.
Good looking.
I would watch Brooklyn and Vanjie. I think they're very cute. I think a lot of guys are cute on this season.
I just think that Brooklyn is giving me like Cameron Michaels vibes.
No.
Who is?
No, that was
Okay,
Kahana. Maybe
Brooklyn
Kahana.
Heights and Cameron Michaels are
No.
kind of the same person.
I see what you're saying.
Like
I see what
the
you're
way
saying.
they're being depicted.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the way
yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
them. And I don't like comparing queens ever.
Right.
But, you know, she gives me Cameron Michael vibes.
Okay.
But you liked Cameron Michaels.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I don't see the comparison between those two personally.
Oh, okay.
Personally,
I guess tall and white.
I see more detox in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't like comparing queens either, but yeah, I would watch them on OnlyFans. I would like that pairing.
What's
very much.
OnlyFans?
I don't know.
You brought it up, girl.
Is this like?
I just started my no.
Is this a Christian streaming service?
Christian, yes, it is.
Define
It is.
Christian.
Yeah.
I know Christian.
Being on your knees is not always Christian.
Yeah.
And then we had that whole thing with Evie being naked and putting pink all over himself.
Yeah.
I was just surprised that they made such a big deal out of this because it's like, don't people aren't they all naked in the workroom anyway? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like they're just making a comment because it's pink, I guess.
Well, I think it came full circle when Troye Sivan came in the back for Untucked and then mentioned it towards Evie. You remember that whole exchange? So maybe that was why they did that. But also, I
set
think
up,
it's
yeah.
really just showing how committed Evie is to her art.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, and I'm totally here for Evie. I definitely fell in love with her in this episode.
Yeah. I liked
I
when
like
she bent
Evie.
back and threw the powder on herself.
Yeah, the
She goes
back
for
bed,
it.
Yeah. She's dedicated to her drag. And every week, now and now, like since the race car, I wasn't feeling the race car vibe. But now I'm starting to stan Evie Oddly.
Oh, totally.
Y'all have converted me like I am Diva worship.
You know what? I was gonna say. I'm glad I took my notes because now I'm remembering my things. When Rue was talking to them about, I just thought this was very important to point out because when she was talking to the groups and she was saying about finding your own rhythm, and that moment, and it was kind of said very quickly and you may not even notice, but when she was saying how people get so caught up in what they're wearing and she's rhinestoned and mine isn't this, it's like stop worrying about what they're wearing, what if they're rhinestoned or not. Find your rhythm, find you, be yourself, because those are the people that we always, whether you like Silky or not, I like her because she's herself and she's authentic.
Yes.
And that's what I appreciate. I'd rather watch that than somebody trying to put on a front and be something for the camera and
That's
stuff
what
like
Miley
that.
said in the first episode.
Yeah,
It's like a
exactly.
theme, I feel like, of this.
And I just think that girls, if you're, I said this at my job, all my coworkers watch. So I was saying too, I feel like the girls, it's getting to the point now where people are like, I just want to be on the show.
Yeah.
And they're not really worried about things until they get there. Stop. Work on yourself. Figure out who you are. Seriously, take some sewing classes. Take some improv classes. Do some things that are going to make you a better person. And then just go and stay focused and stop worrying about, if you're really focused, you wouldn't have even noticed Evie in the corner painting herself. You know what I mean? You'd just be focused on what you're doing and this and that. So, I don't know. It made me excited that she was saying that. I was hoping that other queens who are watching will pay attention to that because I do think that that's important. And if you really do want to go on, you really want to win, put the time and effort into it. Don't just get on because you want to be on and you want more money. Do it for
There goes my application. You can just shred
Crumple
it.
it,
Sorry.
delete the file.
So I want to talk about what we thought of the main challenge. The Mariah group, I was watching it like Ross was watching it when he held the paper up over his face and he was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, this is me right now. Because you guys, we can tell you from experience, live TV is hard shit. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. And and we saw this with Scarlett, is she did really well with the scripted challenge, but it's hard when you just have those cards in front of you and you don't get a redo to be able to do the same caliber of a performance.
Yeah.
It's
an important. Sorry to cut you off.
No, please.
It's an important challenge, I think, to be live because you're going to be hosting shows that are live. They're not going to be scripted. Obviously, you're going to have some jokes here and there, but it really just shows who's going to be a good host. And we definitely saw that with the Britney group, whereas the Mariah group kind of fell flat because they just weren't on the same page.
I was surprised that if you have RuPaul, whose show this is, come and tell you that you shouldn't do Mariah, you should probably change your mind and not do Mariah. Because it was clear from their conversation with her that they didn't know anything about Mariah. And I was kind of in that moment of, because like Ru's like, why didn't you do your research? I'm like, don't they not have internet? Like,
But I have so many words and I just can't.
no,
put
go
them.
ahead.
Do you think the divas were forced on them?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because
That's a
I'm
good
like,
question.
there's so many people that they could have picked. and
Only
then
reason
my
I
thing
don't think it is because on the runway, Ru, you know, it's like that would be really shady to tell them they had to do these and then yell at them on the runway and say, "Why didn't you pick somebody else?"
But I'm pretty sure they had a list of people that they
Yes.
could choose from.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
that's
my
fine.
thing is that when they got
makes
to
sense.
set, everything was already Britney'd out or Whitney,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, they gave these people this, and then they're just like, you know, you had like maybe 5 people to choose from.
Or,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just producers like, oh, they have Mariah in their head. Let's try to make it keep it so that they stick with the Mariah character, the Mariah variety show, whatever show. So maybe that was the.
But
Yeah.
it's also like you said, Jayla, maybe on their list of 5 people, knowing that this other team picked Britney, they had Mariah, maybe the couple other people they could pick from, they didn't know as much about them either.
But I'm pretty sure it was like Katy Perry or somebody
Yeah.
like that. Like, I don't know.
Somebody who's been on the show, I noticed that as well, because we talked about this before, where I was like, I was telling him, like, why not pick Beyonce? You know,
Yeah.
someone who I think you could get a lot of material from. And you were saying it's like you have to clear certain rights. So maybe.
And that's on a production side because, you know, that's how we think about it. But on a viewer side, Beyonce hasn't been like pretty much like a lucky charm for a lot of people. A lot of people go home because
Yeah.
of Beyonce. So they might want to stay far, far away from Beyonce.
She's a really hard character to nail.
Yeah.
Like,
And, you know, we've seen it on Snatch Game
Asia.
2 times. It didn't work out.
Kenya.
But it's like Ru said, I feel like you can get, like, Gaga's been on the show. Someone like Gaga would have a lot of material.
Why didn't they do Gaga? That baffled me.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
on.
I think this is what I was going to say earlier when you were doing your intro stuff. I think the problem was they were going into this instead of thinking. They were all thinking what can be funny, and it wasn't about. I mean, yes, obviously you want to be funny and you want to be entertaining, but the point of it was that you really like this person and you want to convert people to like them. And I feel like I don't know how to phrase it. They were picking Mariah because there was stuff they could make fun of, whereas they should have been picking somebody
Who they really like.
that they really liked
Yeah.
because
Stan.
you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and
it
I
does.
think that was where they went wrong. I even feel like the other team initially picked Britney because in their head they were thinking, oh, we can make fun of this, but it wasn't really about making fun of them. It was about praising them. And yes, those things are things that you can turn into a funny moment, but you can't make fun of that moment. Like the fact that she shaved her hair. Like I like that they did that to convert the person,
Right.
not to make fun of her. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I also think. Sorry, finish. your thought.
No, you're
No,
fine.
I also think that it just proved that Raja, to me, wasn't a strong leader. You're the one who should be making the decisions, and
Right.
it felt like the group just seemed like a mess. No one was on the same page. We needed a leader in order to be led and have a freaking storyline.
Well, and that's
And I
what
think
Nina
that's what
did.
Nina won.
And I think and even that moment when she sat with Mercedes and said, hey, how do you want to do this? What can we do? And they took a moment to create a moment for her to make her, have something that she could do since she wasn't thinking of something on her own. I thought that was a great move. You have to do that. You have to kind of look out for each other in those moments.
I
And she
will
did.
say, though, I felt like... So I know, like, Nina did a good job of steering the ship in the
Yeah.
right
I
direction
agree.
and making
Yeah.
sure, like, the team was all together. So she definitely deserved to win. But I was like, could this be another double win? Because I thought Vanjie was so funny.
I thought
I
Vanjie was going to
agree.
win.
Yeah.
I thought
I-
Vanjie was going to win.
I think Nina was a good leader, but I forgot about Nina after seeing Vanjie's performance.
Yeah.
So I was a little bummed that Nina won this week.
Yeah.
I felt like it could have been both of them because I do feel like, as the host,
Say that again, girl.
you're often the straight person,
Yeah.
not sexuality wise, but you're often
in this case, both ways.
Right. You're often the person who, to other people, is not funny. You're just steering the ship, and
Yeah.
no one's like really seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I respected Nina in that moment because
Yeah.
it's like, she was playing the role she needed to play,
Yep.
and she was steering the ship in the right direction. So,
Yeah.
and that can get very complicated with the moving parts. But I was like,
But I feel like
Benji.
that came naturally for her to be a leader because she hosts Access.
Access
Yeah.
in Columbus, yep.
So she-
and my girl Jenny from Columbus is in the chat room. Hey, Jenny.
Yes. Hey, Jenny from the Blade. So yeah, I think that's like a natural leadership skill for her.
Yeah,
so
that was like. I'm not saying this like to put her down. I'm saying it as a compliment. This is what she does every day.
Yeah,
So this
so
was
she's used to working
Nina
with-
walking into a room and doing what Nina does. So
Danny Green in the chat brought up a good point about saying Nina's runway was better than Vanjie, so maybe that also played a. Well, we're talking about runaways.
yeah, well,
We'll
we can
discuss.
discuss that
Yeah.
when you talk about runways.
That's subject to opinion.
Muhammad in the chat room was asking if we thought that we agreed with the team not choosing Whitney because Whitney had problems.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think that was because they were thinking
Yeah.
of making fun of
of
her,
her.
and if they just actually, and if they picked Whitney, it was like then fix those. You know what I mean? Then you
Right.
don't use those
Yeah.
against them. You use it for them to
Right.
praise them. You know,
Right.
so
like I want to dance with somebody. Can
Yeah.
you get an amen up in here?
yeah,
I get so
exactly,
emotional.
exactly.
Right, I need a
So-
bodyguard.
Yeah.
Something.
Like, well, even the moment on with the panel when Ross says something and Michelle says, "Oh, but I'm making fun of New Year's, Mariah,"
Yeah.
and he's like, "How dare you bring that up?" Like that was
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
because he was kind of defending
Standing
her,
her, yeah.
and that's the point I was making. You know, is that they needed to think of it as, well, yeah, we can do that because we're not going to be making fun of her. We're going to be praising her. So
Yes.
they could have done Diana Ross being Rue's, favorite
then
or whatever.
all 13 of you will be lip syncing.
Not 13. Not 13.
So runway, I asked everybody to pick their top 3 bottom ones for the runway. I actually enjoyed so many of these runway
I know,
outfits.
I
it was
agree.
So
It was
hard to pick. Yeah.
It was really hard. Like my top 3 were Evie, of course. I loved the jellyfish and the way it moved. I thought it was so unique. Suga, it was like another one where I was like, I wouldn't have thought of that. It's very unique, and it meant something personal to her. And then Akira just looked like a goddess to me. I thought that was so beautiful. But then I would give honorable mentions to like Scarlet and
Yeah.
Plastique, and there were just so many.
Everybody
good.
brought their A game.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm gonna do a first at AfterBuzz TV
Oh
for
my
RuPaul's
gosh,
Drag Race.
for the first time.
For the first time
Drag Race
in Drag
history.
Race
Oh my
history
God.
on AfterBuzz TV, when you said pick 3, whatever, I was like, no. They all were. I thought everybody looked great.
That's
I
what I
don't. I don't think everybody was the best of the best, but there was nobody that came out that I was disappointed in.
Right.
And I don't know if it's just because I like Fringe.
I agree with
but
you.
I loved everybody, and kudos to every single one of them. I don't think there was a bad seed in the bunch. I think everybody looked fantastic. I think Raja looked amazing. You can next watch season 12. There'll be a leotard challenge. Watch just for
Always
Michelle.
making faces, and I'm curious as to what
this
you think.
isn't RuPaul's best
friend.
friend race.
Well, it took me 4 seasons to say
I
something
thought
like
there
that.
were
so.
there were amazing looks. Like I agree with pretty much everything Jackie said. Evie, are you kidding me? The jellyfish,
Yeah.
Plastique,
It moved like a
Scarlet.
jellyfish.
I loved Honey's. It was a shame that she went home in that, but
Even though she said it was
Nina's looked like shit. I don't know. I just did not like Nina's. Up close, okay, but far away, she looked like she was rocking a mop.
Yeah.
I didn't
she still had her.
Somebody here said that
She
should have
had
been a different
Thorgy.
color.
She had her Thorgy box too.
I just didn't.
Right, it was very
Thorgy.
because she had Thorgy on the first.
I didn't
episode,
like
right?
it. It
and
looked-
then she had the mop.
It read
was very
mop.
Thorgy.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
Thorgy
I thought
again.
Mercedes. I didn't like the colors that she chose with her leotard fringe, and also who else? Raja's was very lackluster.
Yeah.
I liked them
So you said
all.
you like Honey.
I loved Honey's.
Well, she said it was Angel Down.
It was
Gaga.
not.
It was John Wayne, right?
Who?
She said it was her look was Angel Down Gaga. It was John Wayne Gaga.
Well, maybe she was just inspired by Angel. Like
Well-
the actual song. She said just said
Isn't
Joanne.
there's not a music video for Angel Down, is
Yeah,
there?
I don't know. But I think this challenge was secretly like a janitor challenge. She's like, "You're all fringe. I'll clean my runway and I'll just spin." It was very moppy. I have to say, I want to praise Scarlett Envy for wearing makeup. She gave us a crease.
She's growing on me, though. I will
She
say.
is growing
After
on
the
me.
first episode,
Like, she
I
came in there.
Well,
looking
when the
like
bar's down here, just saying.
the best of a worst bunch. She's like, all of you just lip sync. I don't know. I have to say Akira, of course. She brought her drag. She brought her
Yeah.
good drag. And let's see, who else? Evie, yeah. I give her that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, it was very April Showers. We've seen it.
But jellyfish. It's a jellyfish.
We've seen
Come
it.
on.
It's okay. I love the jellyfish.
She painted. She got
She
into
got
it.
naked.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I love
painted
it.
her taint.
I live.
I mean,
With her cyst on it.
I'm sorry. I want to
No.
take a moment to remind you guys that we live for your praise.
Yes.
So please,
Me more than them.
it helps us out as a studio.
Yeah.
If you comment on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, and you'll become the fan of the week.
Easy.
Again, comment on YouTube, and I do fan of the week
do-do?
shout outs. I do.
She do.
I do some doo-doo.
Uh-huh.
But comment
going
on
in the
YouTube as well. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll give you. We do. Oh my god, I can't. This is why live TV is hard.
Category is doo-doo.
Category is
We're
doo-doo.
all lip syncing tonight.
Our shout outs come from YouTube as well, which
Yeah.
is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So comment,
So thank you.
like,
Comment, like,
stars.
stars.
5 stars.
Check
Here's
out
the
other
thing.
shows we have as well. We have other shows on our AfterBuzz TV channel that you might enjoy as well. Mark does the Days of Our Lives panel.
I
for
do,
example.
if you are a Days of Our Lives fan. Well, I've been taking a break to be here, I gotta, share the wealth.
Schedule.
I was gonna say, if I had my biggest issue with the runway was only one thing, and that was something we haven't discussed really yet, is Vanjie was wearing red again.
Yeah.
That was my only issue. I was like,
noticed
are you
that.
kidding me?
Why
And
are
she
you
wore it in the
mad?
mini challenge.
Why are you mad?
Because she hasn't worn any other color.
But I think that's a cool statement to come out there and be, have a collection of things that they're all going to be red. Like if you go to a fashion show, they're all going to be
This
the
isn't
same
a fashion
color.
show.
Well, it's a runway, honey. This is a fashion show. This isn't Project Runway. No, I think that's good. Like, let that be her consistency. Let that be her gig.
Yeah, you make a lot of sense because at first I was.
Ollie, you were the
Because-
one who read Vanjie last week for wearing too many flowers.
But she wasn't wearing flowers this week. But maybe my
okay with
my
red,
drag
he's not
race
getting
my
flowers.
my fake fans. My POV's kind of altering because I remember I loved Max and Max was always
Yes.
constantly red because that was just her hair color. She was always doing the white gray kind of look. So
the gray hair.
I feel.
But I don't think,
I mean,
has she
outlook.
said that red's her thing?
No.
Well, thank
She doesn't
you.
need
Okay,
to, though.
moving on. Change it up. I want a different
On
color.
a lighter
She's wearing
note-
red. She's in my bottom next week. I'm just saying that now.
For the first time ever on Drag Race, we had a 6 queen lip sync.
Yeah.
It
Iconic.
was.
Clean up the floor with your friend.
You know, guys, usually I say, okay, this person stood out to me and this person won the lip sync. I was like, I don't even know what's going on. There are too many people, and even with your little one shots, you just get a snippet of that person, and it's hard to tell what's going on. And I was like trying.
Nobody knew the words. It was just a bunch of ponytails flipping.
Yeah, it was like
It was
hair
a
coming
mess.
off, people. I was like, I don't know what's happening. And the only thing that I noticed was when Honey fell off the stage, and then
She
tried
fell off
to.
the stage, or she's gonna split.
It
off the
looked
stage?
like she fell.
I thought she jumped, personally.
I thought
But
she
when you
jumped
said
into a
that,
split.
But when she came back on, she was missing a shoe. That's
Right.
why I thought she fell.
True.
Yeah. So that whole piece to me, I was like, oh, if anyone goes home, I knew at that moment that she would be going
Yeah.
home because whatever it was.
Because she looked
like,
down at her like,
the look on
Yeah.
whose face,
Hasn't.
she was just like, girl.
It looked very messy, and I was like,
I
it's
guess
too
RuPaul
much.
was like dizzy because he was like looking around like, oh, what's going on?
I know. I wanted to see that footage.
Yeah.
Right?
Lil Kim.
But I do like that. Because we talk about, are they going to judge on it? Are they going to judge these people as a team? Are they going to judge them individually?
Mm-hmm.
And this time, I think it was rightfully done, where one team was so
Bad.
Bad?
Stunk.
It was so bad
Yeah.
that they had to do that, and I was glad that they did that instead of trying
But
to sugarcoat it.
would you have took the blame? Everybody was like, it's my fault.
I hate
it's my
well, I
fault.
hate
I'm
that
like,
they do
no,
that.
it's
Yeah, see, that's what I would. That's what I would have been. I would.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Rue wants. Like, she wants you to
Yeah.
point the finger and create
everybody
the
brought
drama.
up themselves.
Everyone's like,
Said-
they just want to be nice to each other. We're a team. No, bitch. Someone's
No.
fault. Raja, it's
Yeah.
your fault.
Honestly, I
and
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And to quote Miss Vanjie, Mama would. Mama is mad. All 6 of you gotta pay.
Yeah.
No, I really thought this episode we were gonna have at least 2 queens go
I
home.
know. I'm
was
waiting for it.
hoping.
I
I'm
agree
waiting for
with.
it.
I was hoping.
Yeah.
I agree with Ken29 in the chat said Honey and Raja would have.
That's what I thought.
I
What
thought
about
those two were
Raja's
gone.
outfits saved her.
I think
didn't
Raja's
remember what she
performance
wore.
saved her because
She did a
as
good
soo-
performance, too.
I thought as soon as the song started and she's like, she was the only one that I saw a fire in her eye that I was like, oh shit, she ain't messing around. Like,
Oh
when-
no, wait,
so-
Raja had the red.
Yeah.
No.
But she
no.
stepped up.
I'm sorry, I forgot what she was wearing.
But she did. As soon as the song started,
Thank
she
you.
steps up and she
Sorry.
walks in front of everybody and she just, I felt like she owned it. I felt like she owned it. She's like, nope, I'm not going home. She was the only one that I saw that. Everybody else, I felt like they were just kind of moving around.
Just there, yeah.
And that wig reveal, I'm done with the wig reveals. I'm done.
yeah.
I'm done. I wrote no.
Akira, I was disappointed.
No, not even Akira. No.
Scarlett did a wig.
Scarlett.
Yeah.
Oh, did she? I didn't even notice that.
Well, Kyria took her crown off and like.
Yeah, it might have
Okay.
fallen off though.
Sorry,
too.
guys.
No, it was just a
It was,
mess.
just
there was too
done.
many people like dancing. I couldn't figure out.
It
what
was a
going
gag.
on.
I love all the memes.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Yes.
to see Jayla's meme
I
later on in the show.
I know. So briefly, I want to discuss Untucked, where Evie and Silky got into like a fight about the whole Whitney thing,
Yeah.
and apparently it was because Silky was nervous to do the whole challenge because of her religion, and she
Yeah.
thought it was like making fun of religion.
I
I
do get that.
Get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, this fight seems like it seems so choreographed, like it was coming out of left field, that I was like watching this and thinking, did the producers just tell them like
To fight.
to fight? Because
It was entertaining though.
I know, but it like came out of nowhere.
I was really annoyed by it. Like then Nina finally said, "You guys, we won."
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
That's all I kept saying the whole time they were arguing. I was like,
Right, who
"You
cares?
guys won.
Who
Shut
cares?"
up. Just enjoy the win. Talk about everybody's on the runway."
Right.
But regardless of how you feel about it, I love how Evie just calls people out.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's straight up. She's a straight shooter, like
Yeah.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
I'm here for Evie. This is when I
What
officially
does that have
fell.
to do with anything, bitch?
I
Yeah.
love it. Like I love that in person. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
And it makes great TV.
Yeah,
so
I enjoyed
Thank
that moment
you,
with her.
Evie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Silky had her reveal. I would have been ready.
Oh my
I would've
God.
been ready.
I-
And the little ball change at the end kills me.
That
every
reminded me
single
of
time.
like Real Housewives when that lady threw her like fake leg. You remember
Yeah.
that? This is the fakest thing about
About
oh my
me.
God.
what
Sorry.
is happening?
Off topic tangent. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jackie.
Alaska did it at the reunion.
Oh yeah.
She flicked her leg and
But see,
threw
I
it.
didn't understand that, and I was
Oh,
just
it
like,
was
I
a
thought
There,
it was,
there you go. There
I
you
thought it
go.
was just a weird Alaska thing.
We got
Mirror
you.
moment. That's our mirror moment music.
I don't know if we're allowed to use it.
Yeah, I think we're not allowed to use it. Well, we're allowed to
there
use
it
the
is.
audio, just not the video.
We
Yeah.
can just
There it
use
is.
opulent.
That should be our audio.
Turn everything.
You know what though? The more I see it, the more I laugh, and the more I really do. I don't know.
It is really funny.
I'm sticking with my initial comment that I thought it was hysterical.
The mirror moment this week is Plastique playing her small violin about how.
Very small, very minimal violin.
Yeah, a tiny violin about how she's lived here for 3 to 4 years and doesn't understand pop culture.
Yet-
Listen to me. I have respect for immigrants. My husband is an immigrant, okay? I understand that struggle, but I lived in Germany when I was a kid, and when I came to the US, I learned pop culture in like a week.
Yeah.
Like, you had 3 to 4 years to learn this stuff, and
Yeah.
you've been like presumably going to like clubs to do performances, and you
Right.
can't tell me that you don't know this stuff
Yeah.
by
Right,
now.
because that's a song that you perform. And I
Yeah.
don't believe her because she's also an Instagram queen.
Right.
So my thing is everything that you want to find is on Instagram.
Right. And she knew who Troy Sivan was.
And
Let's
she
not
knew how to
forget.
audition for
I
RuPaul's
don't even know
Drag
who
Race.
that is.
Right, well,
know
he's
who
a
that
singer.
is.
But it's like the fact that she had this whole moment and then they get into the thing and then he walks in and you're like, oh my God. I'm like, girl, you know who Troy Sivan is, but you don't know who
Yeah, I
Mariah
don't know
Carey
who that
is.
is.
Done. That was the moment where I was like, done.
You can't tell me she's not singing that All I Want for Christmas business.
Right,
Anyway.
exactly.
Okay, I agree with you guys 100%.
However,
She is
no.
red
Don't
over here.
attack my plastique. No, I agree with you guys. But I will say, in the challenge, at least she was trying to do something in terms of making like Mariah funny, like with the whole Ariana Grande thing. How Mariah, come on, at least she
was
was
the-
trying.
what was
She
the
knows
deep
Ariana
voice?
Grande, but she don't know.
I didn't understand the deep voice.
Because Mariah, you know, has been in the past seems to not like Ariana because the whole thing.
she
Ariana's
doesn't
the
know
new.
her.
Ariana's like going to be the new Mariah, so I liked that aspect from Plastique. So I was surprised that she said like I don't get pop culture. I agree with you guys. Don't look at me like
Just
that.
say that.
But why?
Just say
I don't
that.
get. Then
Just
what
say
was
your
the deep
dream.
voice?
Because
I
she
don't
doesn't
get it.
like Mariah, she doesn't like Ariana, so the devil comes out with her. That was
But
the
she
connection.
knows this information.
Exactly.
It wasn't something like
Exactly.
Ariana
So
does.
I was surprised. I'm just saying I was surprised that she said that on the runway, despite her having like that pop culture.
Because she knew
reference.
she was in the bottom. She wanted to find
Yeah.
a way out.
An excuse.
The weirdest
Yeah.
defense
I still
ever.
stand. Just saying.
I mean,
done.
she's like, you know, she has been funny and she is beautiful and she is creative, but I'm just like, that is the worst offense ever. It's like, you've lived here for 3 to 4 years. You're already a part of the culture, not to mention that you're a performer in that culture. So it's just like
Right.
Jayla
Yeah.
said, it's like you're picking songs
Yeah.
that are pop songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not know pop stars?
So I mean
Yeah.
that, and also it's a slap in the face to Rue because Rue is also pop culture. You know, Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
still
do you know Supermodel? You
True.
better know. Now available
True.
on iTunes. You know, like
Yeah.
it's a slap in the face to everybody up there.
Well, now we've moved on to our quote of the week and fan of
Well,
the week.
Okay.
I gotta drive the bus, okay?
Where's this bus that everybody
Gotta
can
drive the bus.
What are you gonna do first? Yours or mine? Okay. Quote of the week. I had so many. I was trying to get everything in because there were so many great things that were said this week.
Akira should have been your quote.
It was going to be.
It should have been.
It was going to be.
I'm
And
disappointed.
then this was said, and I was like, only because it kind of just fit the week. I had to go with Raja when she said, "Girl, I hope you're gonna throw those sponges away. You're gonna get pink eye or something." I almost peed myself.
That was a funny moment.
That was hysterical. So Raja gets my quote of the week. But that was a close. That's why I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to give it an honorable mention within the show. And fan of the week, Jackie, would be.
There's several fans of the week.
We love that. We love you all.
We love it.
Like I said, please shout to us and tell us where you're from. We get excited knowing
We
that
do.
there are people in the chat room who said they were from New York and from New Orleans. Someone was from England. People on YouTube, there was Ryan B, who's from Dublin, Ireland.
Ooh.
Tina, who has watched this show for a while now, is from Slovakia.
Yes.
Alan Chi, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, is from China.
Woohoo! China in the house.
So yeah, if you guys comment on YouTube, if you comment on iTunes with a 5-star review, it has to be a 5-star review on iTunes. I'm not reading.
It better be a 5-star.
I
We're
am
leaving you at
not
the bus
reading
stop.
out a 1-star review.
Well, if you give us 5 stars, but write it a bad thing, we'll read that.
We'll read it.
We'll give you some of them.
They used to
Right.
write bad ones about me for Days of Our Lives, but they give us 5 stars. I'm like, well, I'm going to give it to them because I said I would give it to them if they did a 5 stars. So
yeah.
I don't care. I
We'll
don't
take
care.
It. We'll take it. So Meme Queen.
Yes, thank you guys so much for sending me the DMs for the week for Meme Queen. This one goes to Drag Race Family. And it says, when someone asks who's in the bottom 2. And here we have 6 Spider-Mans all
that's
pointing
funny.
to each
Oh
other
my
with our
God.
bottom 6 queens from
That's
all
great.
from this past week. They're all bottoms. Send them all home. So yeah, there we go. I think this
love
is
it.
so funny because they use this in Spider-Verse too. So I think it's an
Beautiful.
iconic meme of Spider-Man.
I love it.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I love the memes. So our local queen.
Oh, yes, it's my turn. Yes. Okay, so I have to shout out one of the local queens of WeHo. It's Barbie's Addiction.
I love her.
I love her so much. She
Yeah.
has I can't talk, y'all. She has a signature look, which is kind of like the shave.
Bald blonde.
Blonde, icy blonde, kind of like Amber Rose. She's like, to me, she's a staple in West Hollywood. So if you're in the area, check her out. She hosts on Thursdays at beaches for the viewing party. So
Oh, cool. I wanna
follow
go
her on
check her out.
Instagram
At Barbie's Addiction.
Barbie's Addiction.
Yeah.
And it's cute. Fun fact, her mom makes a lot of her costumes. So it's cute.
Oh, her mom, like her
Yeah,
real
her real mom.
And they
Oh,
started
wow.
as 3. It was a dance group
Yeah.
originally,
I
and
remember.
then 2 of them have kind of gone off, and now he's the only
And
one.
it's-
That's why the name Barbie's Addiction was the
It's
3
full
of them.
circle because she was in Miley Cyrus's
Yeah.
VMA's performance, and she does that like arm breaking thing. Like,
She's talented.
skinny.
yeah,
Go
she's
see
great.
her.
Scanning.
You guys, if you have any local queens where you live, because we just talked about people from all over the world, please tweet at us and let us know. We would love to feature them on our
Definitely.
show. We're trying to give some love to local queens.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Still haven't seen Lorraine Love. Rude.
You're there all the time.
She's at the bus stop with Roxy.
She's right. Did you see, what's her name? Why do I always forget her name? That one.
Is she on the show?
She was.
Roxy.
No,
Aquaria.
the one with all the big makeup that wore the same dress the whole season.
Bianca. How do you forget her name?
I always forget her name. I don't know why. She did a photo sitting at a sitting at a bus stop. She started trying to do my best Roxy Andrews. I almost peed.
Oh
it was
my
funny.
God.
Yeah, it was
I
funny.
love it.
And Ollie just did an interview.
Yes.
Where's the interview going to air? So people know.
I'll get back to you on that.
And a soapbox.
I think AfterBuzz has its own channel, which is just the carpets.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I got to go to Paley Fest, and we interviewed. I interviewed Michelle and RuPaul real quick. We were short on time. I was the last person to get to ask a single question, but it was really nice, and it meant a lot to me to be able to be in their presence. And we went to the panel there as well, and it's funny that the bus stop is brought up because they actually showed that clip, and I actually, for some reason, got emotional seeing that. I know we make fun of it and laugh at it now, but just knowing that Drag Race is where it's at right now and how it affects people, it brings families together, whether that's your biological family, whatever. It was just really, it's awesome that it's on this platform, regardless that we throw shade and critique it here and there, but it just means a lot coming from small town and celebrating such a diverse queer
Community,
show with Rue there, Aisha Tyler. She hosted the panel. It was just it was
her.
awesome.
Thanks,
I
guys.
saw her. I met her before.
You'll notice that Kenny's not
beautiful.
here. He promised me he would be here in the
I
future.
know, liar.
I'm not here next week, but Ronnie will be here.
Ronnie Jr.
Ronnie Jr. will be here in my place.
Yeah.
Possibly, you heard it first. Possibly a special guest.
Possibly.
Interesting.
Possibly.
Interesting.
Possibly.
Tune in next week for Ronnie Jr. and a possible special guest.
Yeah, I just want a box though. Hallelujah, ladies.
But it's LA. People like to cancel sometimes.
That's because traffic is rough. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me on all platforms, 123 Jackie B. Mark.
And you can find me on
Yes.
Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE.
And you can follow me at Who is Jayla Rocks, me and my reveal.
Yeah.
I live. And I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank
See you.
you.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.